Hello, I'm Noah Jazabski, and welcome back to the show, everyone. Now, have you ever wanted to start a podcast but didn't know where to start, or how to do it, or what you need to do in order to be prepared for an episode? That's what we will be talking about today on my segment, A Day of Podcasting. So for those that don't know, I have my own podcast called Noah Jazabski, Then and Now. I talk about a lot of stuff, but my podcast is centered around movies mostly. How I start off getting ready for an episode is contacting who I want as my guest for that episode. I usually contact people on Snapchat or Instagram and ask them if they would like to be a guest on my podcast. Once I have found my guest and we discuss the movie we will talk about, I go into my living room and watch the movie we will talk about for that podcast. I take my notes and write down my questions. As you can see here, I am watching the movie Carrie and taking down my notes. Once I have watched the movie and write down my questions, I get ready to do an episode. I do most of my episodes on Skype because most of my guests cannot make it to do an in-person show. A lot goes into getting ready for your podcast episode. As well, that includes making sure your audio and video are working and that your internet connection doesn't get disconnected with your guest. Then I start my podcast with my guest and we talk about the movie. My podcast episodes will usually last for 30 minutes the most. The shortest episode for my podcast has ever run for was 4 minutes. Today we're talking about the movie Interstellar, and I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
All right.
So, what were your thoughts on the movie Interstellar?
Well, just to cut straight to the point, it's an amazing movie. You know, to me, it's a masterpiece. From the cinematography and the soundtrack and the cast, and just like the concepts that are presented in the movie, it's just really good. One thing I always tell people about Interstellar, I feel like it's a movie you have to watch multiple times. You know, once or twice. You know, really to enjoy what's being done. You know, in the background or to understand some scenes a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I actually had to watch some stuff on Instagram recently. I follow a lot of these future billionaire pages. So, like, you know, Kanye West, for example. You know, he started off very poor, and then he ended up becoming a billionaire, and he invested his money into making, you know, owning his own shoe company that is making tons of money. You know, that's kind of what you have to do, right? You have to be able to let go something.
And I'm glad I went and saw it in theaters when it came out.
Yeah. When I watched this movie, I liked it a lot. I can definitely say that I liked the first one better, the 2018 one. I thought that one was more, I guess you could say, more entertaining. This one was good too, but I felt like when they brought back all these old characters, you know, from the very first one, which I felt like was kind of just them not having anything else to do with the story, you know. So now, when you get done with a podcast episode, make sure you have it edited and looking professional. Then you can upload it to where you upload your podcast episodes, whether that be Spreaker, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. You do you. And thank you for joining me for 4CNC TV for 4C Imagery. Hope you enjoyed How to Podcast. Now we're off to Shabrika to learn how to braid hair.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to 4C Imagery. I'm Shabrika Bell. Today I'm going to show you how to create Super jumbo box braids. Don't worry, I got you. No bad hair days over here. You won't have to spend hours in the salon for this protective style either. And creating this style on your own will save you some coins. Your purse will thank you later. You're welcome. So today we're gonna get into these super jumbo box braids. And I know what you're thinking. It's gonna take forever. Well, not these braids. They're super cute, stylish, and most importantly, it won't take up all of your time, because who has time to sit in a chair for 8+ hours to get their hair braided? Not me. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into how to create super jumbo box braids. So here are all the items that you will need doing your super jumbo box braids. You're going to need a comb, of course. You're gonna need some got-to-be glue. This is the best gel. Rubber bands. You're gonna need some Kanakalan hair. I got the 6-pack. Oil or hair grease to keep the hair moisturized. To make 3 parts on each side, so you'll have a total of 6 braids. So when you start braiding, what you want to do is divide the hair into 3 parts after you've secured the rubber band with the hair on it. So you want to take your 3 pieces of hair, and you take the hair on the right and you go up under the hair in the middle. Then you take the hair that was in the middle and go over the one that was on the right. Then you take the hair on the left side and you go up under the middle piece of hair. Then the middle piece of hair you take and you overlap the hair on the left. I know it seems difficult, but it's really not once you get the hang of it. Now the next step is to dip the hair into hot water. You want to make sure that this water is boiling hot. So make sure that you're using a cup that is protecting you from getting burned. The reason you want to use the hot water is so that the hair will lay down and it won't curl up and look crazy on the end. So after we slay those edges, we're all done. And this is the end result. Look at my model. Doesn't she look cute? You go, girl. So yeah, that is how you create super jumbo box braids. These braids are also a plus because they aren't super tight. They also have the staying power of at least a week. Box braids have come a long way from the traditional styles that would have taken a third of a day to create. When I was younger, they called box braids individuals because they were a lot smaller. The bigger braids were called dookie braids. Yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Braiding with Brika. I'm Shabrika Bell for 4C Imagery. Now that you have your new hairdo, stay tuned, and Zach is going to show you how to get sauced up and swagged out with his clothing hacks.
Are we rolling? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know how to dress? You don't? Let me show you. Disclaimer, fashion is subjective like most things, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But objectively, I'm right. If I could describe my sense of style with one word, it would be simple. I think a good color combination or a nice jacket can go a long way. But before I give up all my secrets, let's start off pretty basic. You need to walk before you can run, or you can go crazy off rip. It doesn't matter to me.
You know, a nice pair of pants can go a long way. So before we go crazy, I'll start with some nice khaki pants and complement that with a graphic tee or a hoodie. If you want to add some depth to the fit, then throw on a button-up shirt, short or long sleeve. Or instead of a button-up, a jacket works too. Now that we have some depth, we can worry about the shoes. I prefer to go casual, more casual. There we go. Now that I showed you how to style an outfit, let me show you some more fits. Now let's get a little experimental. Different colors can accentuate a fit perfectly. Maybe some bright pants and a dark shirt, or vice versa, dark pants and a bright shirt. Personally, I don't like doing dark on dark or bright on bright because it just blends into itself and you just become a blob of color. But that's just me. And as we all know, I'm always right. Now let me show you some good outfits. See how the colors match, but each component is its own? If I had one piece of advice for any aspiring individual who cares a little too much about what they wear and how others view them, it would be to make each individual item feel like its own, but also make each component like match, you know? It's hard to explain, but it's okay. Also layer, throw on a hoodie, a hat, or some jewelry to change things up from time to time. Little things can go a long way. Now that you learned how to style yourselves, I better not see any more trash outfits. Now that I'm done ranting about clothes, I'll pass the show on to Ron, who may or may not talk about hats, I think. Who knows? Stick around and find out.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to the second episode of 4C Imagery. Since Zach showed you how to get in style, I'll be showing you how to restore your hat. I'm your host, Ronald Wilden, and today I will be showing you how to turn an old wrinkly hat back into its former glory. I will teach you how to clean your hat and get it back into its original form. You would be surprised what a little bit of scrubbing can do to a dirty hat. If you're anything like me, you wear a hat just about every day. And unfortunately, when you wear hats all day, they are bound to get dirty. Surprisingly, all you need to properly clean a hat is some Dawn dish detergent, some hot water, and a toothbrush. Then for the reshaping process, you need some extra hold hairspray, a pot, a towel, and some plastic bag. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is soak your hat under some hot water. I typically do this in the bathtub, but for educational purposes, I'm going to be using the kitchen sink. So what you're going to want to do next is take some Dawn dish detergent and put it all over the hat. The dirtier the hat, the more soap you're going to want to use. Take your toothbrush and start scrubbing. You're going to want to scrub the brim, the sides, the embroidery, and definitely scrub the inside. I particularly like to focus on scrubbing the inside sweatband and get it as clean as possible because that's where all the sweat is located. You don't want to be wearing a hat with built up sweat stains on the inside. That's just nasty. It's sad how many people get rid of a perfectly good hat because they think it can't be cleaned or it has wrinkles in it. With a little bit of TLC, that tender love and care, you can turn that old hat back into a nice presentable hat. After you get all the scrubbing done, go ahead and rinse it out one more time to get all that soap out. You don't want any soap left behind, trust me. After you finish getting all the soap out, you just want to wring out all that extra water. You don't ever want to stick a hat in the dryer because you run the risk of shrinking the hat. So once you get all the excess water off, just set the hat to the side and let it dry somewhere where it won't be in the way. Okay, so we scrubbed the hat really well and got all that nasty stuff and excess water off. Now comes my favorite part, reforming your hat. You don't want an old wrinkly looking hat. You want to make it look crispy, make it look brand new, you know? This is where the towels, pot, grocery bags, and hairspray come in. Take your hairspray and spray the inside and the outside. You don't need a whole lot of it, but you definitely want to get it covered. Take the towel and lay it on the counter, and place your pot down on top of it. The reason you want a couple grocery bags is that if you just use the pot, the hat would take the shape of a flat bottom pot, and we don't want that. Put the grocery bags on top of the pot, and then put your hat over them. Mess around with it a little bit to get it into the shape you want, and then once you get it, tighten the bag. The hairspray will make it stay in shape and get it back to its original form quite nicely. Now you just need to let it sit for around 24 hours just to make sure it gets 100% dry. There we go, guys and girls. A freshly cleaned, freshly formed hat that looks about brand new again. Show your old hats laying around in the closet some love and give it a try yourself. Now Katie Lee is going to teach you how to make a fairy garden. Thanks again for tuning in to episode 2 of 4C Imagery. I'm your host, Ronald Wilden, and I hope to see everybody again next episode. Ron out.
As a scientist, I know by the time she takes her first breath, 9 billion more tons of carbon pollution will be in the air. When she takes her first steps, wildfires will have burned millions more acres she could have explored. The day she gets her first pet, there are thousands of newly extinct species she'll never meet. The night she forgets to call, the night of her first heartbreak. Her future home floods for the first of many times. By the time a child born today goes to college, it may be too late to leave them the world we promised. Our window to act on climate change is like watching them grow up. We blink and we miss it.
Hey, thanks Ron. Everybody is killing it with the creativity today. On this episode of 4C Imagery, I'll be showing y'all how to create your very own fairy garden. First, you are going to need some dirt. I chose a large planting pot. Next, pick out a colorful flower and/or fresh greenery. Green foliage is nice to use as an accent piece or for the main attraction. Then you pick out your decorations for your scene. Since it's fall and out of season for this, I got what was left at the store. My garden is basically a farm with animals and other knickknacks. Gather a bucket of water or a hose. Place your pot down and fill it up, leaving room for the plant and decorations. I had to use 2 bags of dirt. Smooth it all out until it's even. Next, dig a small hole to place your flower in. Make sure it's placed in there nice and straight and all the roots are covered. I decided to place the colorful flowers in the middle and add greenery around the edges. After the flower has been planted, you can add the decorations any way you like. Depending on what kind of fairy garden you want, place the decorations accordingly. I usually start with the bigger pieces first and then add the little pieces spaced out for cute detail. After everything is in place and how you want it, put your creation in the recommended sunlight and water it. And voila! You now have your very own fairy garden. Just a quick reminder to not forget to water it, or it'll die. Now I'm going to toss it back over to Noah.
Hello everyone, and thank you again for joining us all here today for 4CNC TV for 4C Imagery. We hope you enjoyed all that we had to bring and offer for you guys today. We got to learn how to clean a hat, how to design clothing, how to braid hair, how to podcast, and how to make a fairy garden. Hope to see you guys again next time for 4C Imagery.